Chapter 6, Crane Trop, April 1975. On the morning of April 25th, 8 days after leaving our wonderful home in Phnom Penh, we arrive at our destination. Crane Trop is a small and dusty village surrounded by rice fields as far as the eye can see. All around the rice paddies, little red dirt roads wind like snakes slithering through water. In the fields, gray buffaloes and brown cows graze lazily on the grass. Many have bells tied on strings around their necks, which chime when the animals slowly move their heads. When they run, they remind me of the sound of ice cream carts in Phnom Penh. Here, instead of concrete city buildings and houses, people live in huts made out of straw that squat on 4 stilts above the elephant grass in the middle of rice paddies. "These kids are even messier than I am," I exclaim as one runs across our path, oblivious to my own ragtag appearance. "Ma always complaining about me. Just look at them." The children are red and dusty all over, crimson earth clinging to their clothing, skin, and hair. Ju frowns at me and shakes her head. Though she is only 3 years older than I am, Ju often acts as if she knows many more things than I do. I have the larger build and can beat her up easily, though I rarely do it. Because she is shy, quiet, and obedient, and doesn't say much, all our older siblings assume that she chooses to say is of some importance, and usually take her side in our fights. Because I am loud and talkative, my words are trite and silly. Ju looks at me now with her brows wrinkling close together, as if trying to figure out my thoughts. I stick my tongue out at her. I don't care. I am thrilled to be here, and able to return home in a few days. After a joyous reunion with my aunts and many cousins, Pa disappears with Uncle Liang to meet with the village chief and request permission to live here. Uncle Liang and Uncle Hiang say that since the Khmer Rouge have won the war, the soldiers removed the old village chief and replaced him with the Khmer Rouge cadre. Now the villagers have to seek permission for the simplest of human desires, to have family members live with them or to leave the village to visit another area. They return shortly and report that our request is granted. My interest in the town quickly dies when Pa tells us that we will all live with Uncle Liang and his family in their house. Uncle Liang and his wife have 6 children, so with the 9 of us, it makes 17 under one thatched roof. Their house would not be called a house by city people's standards. It looks more like one of those simple huts poor people live in. The roof and walls are made of straw, and the hut has only a dirt floor. There are no bedrooms or bathrooms, just one big open room. There is no indoor kitchen, so all the cooking is done under a straw roof awning. Later that night, Kim took me outside and scolded me for being snobbish about our new house. Even as a 10-year-old boy, he understood how brave our uncle was to beg the new Khmer Rouge village chief to permit us to stay. "The village is so poor," I say to Pa, as the family gathers on the floor of Uncle Liang's hut. Sitting on straw mats or wooden stools and chairs, we listen to Pa's instructions. "So are we." The sternness of Pa's voice makes my face burn with shame. "From now on, we are as poor as all these people here. We have to live far away from the city where people might recognize me and know who I am. If anybody outside the family asks where we are from, tell them we are country people, just like your uncles." "Why don't we want them to know who we are, Pa? Why can't we go home to our own house? The soldiers promised that we could go home after 3 days." "The Khmer Rouge lied. They have won the war, and we cannot go back. You must stop thinking we can go back. You have to forget Phnom Penh." Pa has never spoken so bluntly to me before, and slowly the reality of what he says sinks in. My body trembles with fear and disbelief. I am never going home. I will never see Phnom Penh again. Drive in our car, ride a cyclo with Ma to the market, buy food from the carts, all of that is gone. He reaches out and takes me into his arms as my eyes water and my lips tremble. As Pa continues to talk, I slide out of his arms and into Kev's. Pa tries to make my brothers understand the history of politics in Cambodia. Led by Prince Sihanouk, Cambodia, then a French colony, became an independent nation in 1953. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Cambodia prospered and was self-sufficient. However, many people were not happy with Prince Sihanouk's government. Many regarded the Sihanouk government as corrupt and self-serving, where the poor got poorer and the rich became richer. Various nationalistic factions sprang up to demand reforms. One of the groups, a secret communist faction, the Khmer Rouge, launched an armed struggle against the Cambodian government. The war in Vietnam spread to Cambodia when the United States bombed Cambodia's borders to try to destroy the North Vietnamese bases. The bombings destroyed many villages and killed many people, allowing the Khmer Rouge to gain support from the peasants and farmers. In 1970, Prince Sihanouk was overthrown by his top general, Lon Nol. The United States-backed Lon Nol government was corrupt and weak and was easily defeated by the Khmer Rouge. Pa says many more things to my brothers, but I don't care much about politics. All I know is that I'm supposed to act dumb and never speak of our lives in the city. I can never tell another soul that I miss home, that I want to go back to the way things were. I rest my head on Kev's shoulder and close my eyes while gritting my teeth. She softly strokes my hair and caresses my cheeks. Don't worry, your big sister will look after you, she whispers quietly into my hair. Next to her, Ma sits on the mat holding Gek, who sleeps quietly in her arms. Ju is next to her, focusing on her red and white chroma, intently folding and refolding it. Later in the night, lying on the wooden plank for beds, I keep Ju awake by tossing and turning. I hate this. I'm so uncomfortable, I gripe to Ju, who is sleeping next to me. In the city, we 3 youngest girls slept on mattresses in the same bed. On the farm, the boys get to sleep in hammocks, while the girls sleep all lined up like sardines on a rough wooden platform made of bamboo trees. I'd much rather sleep in the hammocks. Be quiet and go to sleep. Ju, I have to go to the bathroom. Go then. I'm afraid. Come with me. Ju answers by turning her back to me. Every time I have to go, I have to walk into the woods by myself to the outhouse. I have used up our paper money and now have nothing to use for toilet paper. Ju taught me to use leaves, but at night, when I cannot see, I'm afraid there might be bugs on them. Entering the woods at night is a haunting experience, especially for someone with a vivid imagination. In the darkness, I see spirits shaking the trees, letting me know they are there, waiting for me. They whisper chants and spells that the wind carries through the leaves back to my ears. The spirits call to me to come to them so they can take possession of my body. I am so filled with fear about going to the bathroom alone at night that I force myself to hold it until dawn, when I make a mad run into the woods. I soon realize how early everyone gets up when they are already busy about the farm before the sun rises and long before I awake the next morning. Life on the farm is boring and dull, but at least there is enough to eat. Unlike my life in Phnom Penh, I do not have any friends outside the family. It is hard to make friends because I'm afraid to speak, afraid I will blurt out secrets about our family. Pa says that the Angkar has abolished markets, schools, and universities and has banned money, watches, clocks, 8-track players, and televisions. Since we are now a family of peasants, I will have to learn the time of day and night by the position of the sun and the moon in the sky. If I run into other children and speak to them, I have to watch what I say and what language I use. I cannot mention the food I wish I could eat, the movies I have seen, or the cyclo I have ridden in. If I speak about them, the children will know we are from the city. I'm used to kids seeking my attention and friendship in the city. Here, they look at me with suspicion and steer away from me when I approach them. No matter, I have many cousins to play with. On the days I don't spend watching other people watch us, I help my older cousins bring their cows to the field to graze. I gradually adjust to life on the farm and let go of my dream of returning home. The first time my cousin Lee Chun puts me on a cow, I am afraid I will fall off. The cows are much taller than I am. Lee Chun is 16 and taller than the cows. She hoists me effortlessly to the top of one. Sitting on its back, my legs hang to the middle of its stomach. My hands hold tightly to the rope tied to the ring pierced through its nose while my legs hug its body. Every time the cow moves, its huge rib cage shifts between my legs, and my heels slide over the ribs like fingers over piano keys. Relax your body, Lee Chun laughs. Cows are lazy, so they move slowly. You will fall if you sit so rigidly. Following her advice, I stop holding on so hard and sway my upper body with the movement of the cow. After a few minutes, my fear subsides. How much farther before we stop? It's hot and my bottom is hurting, I complain. We're going just over the hill where the grass is greener. You're the one who wants to come, so stop grumbling. Lee Chun points to a group of girls walking in a distant field. Look, at least you don't have to do their job. They are peasant girls, not much older than I am, wandering in the field. They carry bags strapped diagonally across their back, and their eyes look at the ground. Occasionally, a girl bends to pick up a round, greenish-black patty from the ground and puts it in her bag. What are they doing? They're collecting dry cow dung. Disgusting! Usually the peasants come by with their wagons and scoop up the fresh manure to use as topsoil. These girls are picking up the dry manure because it is believed to have medicinal properties. They will boil it in water and drink it like tea. Disgusting! I exclaim again. Even the new experience of riding a cow becomes dull when you do it every day. Yet despite the monotony of farm life, the longer I live in Crane Trop, the more fearful and anxious I become. Everywhere I venture, I cannot shake the feeling that someone is watching, following me. Though I have nowhere to go, each morning I hurriedly dress myself so I catch a glimpse of Pa before he goes off to work. On most days, by the time I am awake, Pa and my brothers are already gone, and Ma is busy sewing clothes for the family or working in the garden. After I get dressed, I do what I can to keep up my hygiene. Pa tells us it's important, so I try to make him happy. Since we no longer have toothbrushes and toothpaste, I use a handful of hay and run it over my teeth like a brush. To get to the back teeth, I have to reach into my mouth with my fingernails and scrape away the thick yellow crust. To wash, I use a bath stall similar to an outhouse. Inside, there is a big round container that looks like a 3-foot-tall clay flower pot, which Kim and the other cousins fill with water every morning. I undress and hang my clothes on a splinter of wood over the door. Then I reach into the container and take a bowl full of water and pour it over myself. There is no soap or shampoo, and as a result, my hair becomes very sticky and knotted, and it is painful to comb. Pa returns late at night looking dirty and tired. Sometimes, after a quick meal, Pa sits quietly outside by himself and stares at the sky. When he comes back into the hut, he falls quickly asleep. I hardly ever sit on his lap anymore. I miss his hugs, and not how he used to make me laugh at old Chinese stories. Pa's tales were often about the Buddhist gods and their dragons coming down to earth to fight evil and protect people. I wonder if the gods and dragons will come help us now.